So let's talk a little bit about what you're working on. You've got, of course, the reality shows that you've been doing and different stuff in TV. You've got a project that you're working on, right?
Yeah, well, the TV's starting to do a whole new show on television. Pretty cool, different concept, same type of family energy with a different twist. So I'll be starting to film probably another month. I did some filming like yesterday, 2 days ago. That was cool. Did a project, Memoirs of Hustler. I've been down in Miami for the most summer dealing with a few artists down there that I'm getting ready to sign to a deal. Call it the Miami Vamps. There's a little bit of a movement I got going on down there. Getting ready to open up a flagship store down there also, and in Atlanta. So I've been doing a lot of things. Got a soda deal I've been doing. That should be pretty dope. Shout out to my man Ali D. He does a lot of things for television and film as far as writing singles and scoring movies and stuff like that. So I actually started an urban division under his whole film production type of situation he got. That's pretty dope, man. He does some pretty big films like Chipmunks and all this type of stuff. So I just been doing a lot of different things to pull in some money. That's about it, you know.
What do you like the most?
What do I like the most? The money.
Besides the money, what do you like doing the most to get the money?
I mean, you know me, I'm not mad as long as I get to hustle. If it's something that I want to hustle, I usually don't do nothing that I don't want to do. So everything that I'm doing, I'm having a ball doing, from the clothes to the television to the music. The music just started getting fun again to me. I kind of took like a little bit off for a minute. I wasn't too pressed for music at a point. You know.
It seemed like you fell back from the whole thing for a good chunk of time.
Yeah, it gets to you after you've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it. But,
I know long you've been.
But it's cool. I'm back. I got some good energy. Got some good artists. Been talking to a few executives. I'm getting ready to do an album called Ghost of Rich Porter. I did a mixtape called The Ghost of Rich Porter, and you know, a lot of people liked it very much. So I figured I'd turn it into a real album and see how that go. A couple of labels actually hollered at me. So you know, I'm not really impressed with it. But
why'd you fall back from music?
Just trying to do a lot of different other things and plant seeds other places, and you know, music was in the midst of changing, so I really wanted to understand where it was going instead of just still being in it and not understand what's going on. So I stepped back and I watched it for a minute, and I observed the young kids and I observed the executives, and I watched how the labels are in a state of shock, and most people are making money through viral, and watch how iTunes is kind of just took over the whole music wave as far as for the artists to make money. I mean, you still make money off some hard copies, but hard copies are like a novelty right now. You need to understand what the internet is really about, and then, you know, you got kids out there that don't have a single play at radio, but these kids are making 20, 30,000 at shows and touring and things like that. So it's definitely a different music industry out there right now.
So how did you figure out how to survive in this new day of music industry? How did you get to today?
Because the music is just, it's always been one facet of what I do. You know, I sell lifestyle, so for me to get back to sell lifestyle, I had to understand what the kids like. And when you're in the entertainment business, you always got to find a way to reinvent yourself, especially to stay relevant. And you know, perseverance is a motherfucker. If you lack common sense, it ain't too hard. So you know, I stick to the blueprint, and it's an evolving game, so you got to change with it. If you don't change with it, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get lost. I mean, I've been here for 15 plus years, and I've seen everybody from the greatest to one-hit wonders come and go since Dats was out. I don't even think half the kids know what a DAT is. You know what I mean? So since we was recording on rails and shit like that, and I'm still here to watch the game and look at it, observe it. It feels good to know that I'm still here can make some money in it. Still relevant. The kids still fuck with me. They still think that my opinion is worth something. So you know, that's a blessing, especially in my line of work. 'Cause rap wasn't my strong point. It was who I was and what I bring to the table. And you know, my lifestyle was kind of alluring, I guess. make the kids want to be like me or do things that I was doing. So it's cool.
Well, when I met you, you were way more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So did you ever see yourself at this point, or did you always think you were going to be more behind the scenes? I mean, Bout It video, I remember that's when people got to see you more in the forefront, right? Weren't you directing that? The remake video with that. Mm-hmm. People started to see you a little bit more then. We were doing the Diplomat feature then. Mm-hmm. And you started to come out more to the forefront, right? Mm-hmm. Why, did you ever see yourself at this level? Are you surprised by it when you look back?
I always saw myself doing something great, or doing something great, or something on an enormous scale. No matter what it was, I knew that either I would have some fame to me, or all the famous people would know who I was regardless. And I didn't know what it would be at the time. I just knew that I wanted to live a lifestyle, and I wanted to be that nigga at the time, and that was very important to me at a time in my life. And you know, when you coming up and you got them aspirations, and you come up in Harlem like we did, and there was nothing but drug dealers to look up to outside, and you know, they were living fast, and they had, it seemed like they had everything, and it seemed like they had everything under control, and you know, this is what we kind of based our blueprint on.
I was talking to someone yesterday about how, you know, people jump in the studio and make music, and versus, you know, emailing each other versus back and forth, and how back in the day you and the Diplomats jumped in the studio after that Nas stuff that night. Mm-hmm. Remember? And just how, you know, people don't do that anymore, but that there was nothing like the next day having music from a crew, mm-hmm. and what that was like versus, you know, now when it's, you know, people don't even want to respond, let alone respond where they all got into the studio at the same time. That was hip-hop. I mean, you remember that night? What do you think of that, of being around each other, being able to have that quick response, of being in a crew making music like that? It seems like it's a rarity these days.
Yeah, it's not. I don't see it. It's not the same like when we were coming up. The kids don't. They react much different to, and the game is played much different. Hip hop was built on very aggressive competition when we were coming up. So you know, if somebody took a jab at you, if you ain't throw 4 punches back, you was considered a sucker, and that might have just excluded you out the whole game. So it was like, and then there was the strategic point of the right person saying the wrong thing, and us being able to capitalize off of just being beast in the game. And you know, Nas, I came up listening to Nas. Nas was one of my favorite rappers to date, from his style and everything. He used to rock the Helly Hansons back in the day. Like, he had niggas drinking E&J. Like, I can't front on Nas. Like, Nas was popping while I was in high school, and this is one of the niggas that we was like, nah, he is that nigga. Like, I gotta go get my army jacket. I gotta go get my shit. Like, niggas was dressing like Nas. But when you playing for a team, it ain't no rules in war. Like, whoever coming our way, we gotta conquer, or it's gonna be a battle. And you know, Nas just put himself in a predicament to get his ass handed to him because he wasn't fucking with the regular bunch of motherfuckers. And you know, I guess it took everybody by surprise, or maybe it didn't. But you know,
I don't know if it took people by surprise. I think it was just the excitement that it was BAM. You know, that the idea that you guys left that night and went to the studio.
Yeah, I mean, the idea, we don't give a fuck about nobody but us. That was our idea. Don't nobody put $1 in our pocket but us. So if you violate us, we're gonna violate you 10 times worse. We don't give a fuck who you is. We don't really give a fuck who you is, and that was just the scenario. That's the way we was living.
That was the mentality way more in hip hop back in the day, though. Like, I try to explain to the younger staff that there's a whole different mentality of what the survival was.
Everybody's a little bit friendly nowadays. Like, and as you can see, being friends kind of erupts and turns into bullshit. Like, I've watched the game in the past 2 years, and it seemed like it was one big alliance. Like, everybody is holding hands and shit like that, and niggas doing music together. And it didn't feel like it was really any competition, or niggas were scared to have to go up against competition. That shit ain't how hip hop is. I was coming up, it was competition. Right. Niggas was battling backstage. I was telling somebody the other day, like, these niggas don't even know what it is to be at a concert, and then you gotta have bars on deck. This nigga might kill him, might come up, or I remember vividly Big Pun always doing that. Oh, we got a session, let's go, Killer. We here, and everybody rapping. Like, you too, Jim, you gotta rap. Like, that shit was serious. Like, nigga, we gonna put your shit to the test. Like, we need to make sure that that's you rapping, and niggas ain't writing for you, or you did, and that sport of the game is gone. Like when people see backstage and they saw Jay-Z and DMX rapping, that was some real shit that went on every day in hip-hop. You dig it? I think the last of that was probably around the time when was the Cassidy and Freeway was battling. And Cassidy went crazy. Like, you dig? That was like
Jay
the last.
in the background
that was like that was like the real last of us niggas really doing that. I mean, now you have Smack and these people still have that side of the culture, like the battle raps and all that type of shit, but that's one facet of it. It wasn't nothing like seeing a platinum nigga walk in the building and the whole battle just start pop off in the middle of anywhere, nigga. That was different.
Well, dudes weren't scared to rap then.
Exactly. Niggas had their bars on deck. Now niggas got Molly on deck. You heard? Niggas' brains is fried. It's just different, but you know, we was in the era where we used to sell drugs for money. Now niggas take drugs and hope they could keep making money off their music. You heard? It's different. It's very different. But it's still a rap game, and people are still making a shitload of money in it. You know, the kids are the kids. As time goes on, shit changes. And what you put in front of the kids, not something they usually believe, or that's the thing they usually follow. So, you know, as these kids, these rappers start looking weirder and weirder, or I guess to some people they looking flyer and flyer, but it just, you know, it turns the whole generation into some other shit that I haven't seen before, and I've seen a lot of it from the 80s to breakdancing all the way down. This shit right here is a little bit different, but I'm with it. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, but who am I? I pretty much had my era. That's what we did. Now, you know, I gotta adapt to a new era, which is cool, but it's definitely different to look at. You know what I mean?
How long did it take you to understand that, or did you get it from the start?
I always get it. I get life. You dig? Like, I'm not no more. I'll be knowing that shit gonna happen anyway, but it's just whether I want to take part in it. I'm not gonna take part in it. Like, I'm still not one of the people that's gonna compromise who I am or what I do just because everybody else is doing it.
If the Diplomats never broke up ever, what would hip-hop be like now in general, and what would the Diplomats have meant to hip-hop? Nothing ever changed. If the force kept on going from after Heyman and all that.
I don't know. It's almost scary. I couldn't tell you, but I know it. You know, thoughts of that is very scary. You dig? I think about it all the time, but so many people in one group to have that amount of power is scary. You dig? So I don't like to think about it too much, but you know, I think of shit like the Beatles and shit like that, like, because our shit was way different. Even now, we still represent a big generation of people that understand what we represent. You dig? It wasn't a facade. We came from nothing, and we did everything in our power to become something. And whatever we had to face in the midst of that road, we did. And we've been through it all, from people being locked up directly in the group. Zeke did 3 years in the midst of us making millions and millions of dollars, like, to people dying, to shootouts, to being on America's Most Wanted, to niggas getting locked up for $20 million bail, to gunshots, to front pages. Like, we've been through a rack of shit that I know 99% of these niggas that have fame haven't really been through. And I know some of these niggas been locked up, and I know some of these niggas been, but they haven't been through it like we've been through it. We had a chance to either sell drugs or do music. Music was our selling drugs, and we took that lifestyle with us to the music, and it happened just like we were selling drugs. It's just bizarre. You understand what I'm saying? So it was like it was just bizarre, man. It did so much money. It was kind of crazy. So, you know, when I think about how everything stopped and the little bit of discrepancies, it's like God has a plan, and God do certain things for certain people. Maybe He saved us in a big way, saved us from our own self, because we had a lot of destructible traits, all of us.
I remember going to a Cameron listening, and then a little while later, we went. There were you guys, and you had headbands, these little white headbands with Diplomats written on them. Mm-hmm. And we're like, well, who are these Diplomats? It was Leah and I. We're like, who are these guys? What are these weird headbands? So we took the headbands. They were like the promo albums, and we rocked them around the office for a while. Everyone made fun of us because we were the Diplomats. And then it started to take off, But it was these little. I remember at first these little white headbands with Diplomats written on it, and that was like your little promo items in the very beginning, that like a Cam listening session. And we were all like, who are the Diplomats? It was just a funny name.
It just was an ill culture. Like, Cam was a very talented kid when we came out, we were young, and the music was based directly on the talent.
Right.
But we were still so very young, so we didn't even get to experience life, both yet in the hood and both in real life. Like, we just was coming up in both. So it was just kind of scary to just have so much power at that young of age. Like, we started this gang culture and made millions off of it on the East Coast perspective. I could say that wholeheartedly. Like, when people got that burst of energy when Snoop came out on the West Coast, not saying he started that gang culture on the West Coast, but he really empowered that shit when Snoop came out. Like, when Snoop came out, niggas knew what Crippin' was. Fuck the bullshit. Like, you saw the movies, you saw colors and all that. When Snoop put that music to it, niggas was like, oh, fuck. When we put that music to that blood shit on the East Coast, it was the same feeling. What the fuck is going on? And that shit came with a lot. I promise you. It's a lot. If there was a movie, it would be an action flick, an action drama, I promise you.
I think it's interesting, though, when you look back, and not to say it's great, but when you look back at that time period, the street shit was more real than it is now. Not to say that shit isn't real now, but what you had going back behind the scenes in hip-hop seemed like it was deeper then. When you go into the G-Unit stories, when we go into the Diplomat stories, behind the scenes shit seems like it was popping off more than people even knew at the time.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of things that you would never see on screen or you would never hear on the radio. This was a time where there wasn't no Instagram. Niggas wasn't texting. Niggas just started texting in the last 6 years. Like, texting wasn't popping. Niggas used to text. Niggas didn't know what the fuck texting was. So that form of what happened couldn't got out. It's just people that was in that era and around that time, some people knew what happened, some people didn't. But it was a lot of shit that we didn't talk about. Like, before my biggest hit in the world, I was on trial facing like 10 years over a shootout that happened in Harlem, and it was kind of bizarre, and it was just kind of crazy, and it was just like, I was really going to trial. Like,
we were working on the feature at that time.
Like, the same time Diddy was going to trial, I was going to trial. You dig? And that shit was kind of nuts, and I refused to put it in any media, anything like that, because I just wasn't sure of what was going on. Like, I wasn't no Diddy type of nigga. I wasn't using me going to court as a publicity ploy. Like, this shit was serious to me, and God bless, I happened to beat the case. And right after that is when I went into balling, and it seems like a lot changed when balling hit. That
For you.
That was like awakening up to me, to everybody. It seems like the success balance in the Diplomats kind of shifted. Not saying I became more successful, but became just as successful as both Cam and Joel's. And that was crazy in itself. So now you had three niggas like on the platinum level, and it just was bizarre. Shit, we were all bosses at that time.
Were you all talking to each other at that time?
Yeah, we were still talking to each other at that time. Cam did the balling video. Everybody was in the balling video and things like that. Yeah. Slowly after that is when,
What happened with you and Dame? You'd recently gone in about Dame.
I ain't even want to talk about fuck Dame now. That's not of importance. He don't really, his story really have no.
All right, so going back to that other time periods, you've got you guys, you've got G-Unit, you've got the Locks. How did you guys, the three crews, I always thought it was interesting of how you guys existed at the same time, and how did you, it wasn't like you ever had beef with each other, you didn't really record too much together, but it was still kind of these different New York movements. And I think you had respect for each other, but I think it's still interesting dynamics because, the mixtape stuff is taking off, you guys have tapes, G-Unit has tapes. What was the dynamic then? How did you look at each other? crew?
It was definitely a level of respect, and it was definitely a level of we don't really give a fuck who they are, and there's definitely a level of there's a heavy bit of competition within New York City, and not to say with the Locks per se, because we were very cool with the Locks. We knew them for years.
And it wasn't
already.
The same level of crew,
You did, but when it came to Gina, it was like, what's up? Like, we are pretty much in the same level. I mean, we all know 50 was one of the biggest artists to come out of rap in history, but on the level of the movement, our movement was just as strong as his. Maybe not as commercial as his, but just as strong as his. There's things that he could do on the road were the same things we were doing on the road. We just did them all by ourselves. We didn't have a Chris Lighty or these other people to sit down with us and tell us exactly what we were missing or what we need to do because of the power that we do have. So everything we did was just pure out of pure ambition. Like, it was just hood niggas showing up to the game. Like, what? I'll meet y'all there. And it just became like that. Niggas flying private jets in, niggas pulling up at Bentleys and Maseratis, high-fiving through the show. It just was like we was treating the show like it was the connect. We going to the show to get work, and then we out of it. I'll see y'all niggas later. It was bizarre, but it was fun. And I loved every minute of it. It was very high energy. We never knew what was going to happen, but we was living the life you wanted to. None of us had to want for nothing. Our families had to want for nothing. We did what we wanted to, when we wanted to, how we wanted to do it. We really didn't have no regard for authority. Like that shit was, we really meant that shit. And we was proud of doing it. And,
you regret anything from it?
Nah.
Anything from that time period or your past in hip-hop?
No. The only thing I regret in hip-hop is the IRS. Fuck them niggas. Let me stop.
Looking back at that time period, looking at New York now, what do you think about the New York hip-hop scene?
The New York hip-hop scene?
Now, yeah. Compared to then, and just as it is
now.
It's
way different now. It's not like, it's not because of the New York artists per se. That has to do with the politics and the radio play and the media outlets and all that. It's, they really don't show the proper love or proper respect that they should show to New York artists or New York movements that's coming out. We all understand the music is more popular down south, and it seems like all DJs follow that trend. There's a few DJs here that stick it out for the New York artists, but for the most part, it's hard here. Right now, it's a fight to be who's the king, and that's it. Like, so, when I look at shit like the Bobby Shmurdas and them, it gives me a good feeling of shit we used to do. Like, them kids seem like they just young, raw, fresh off the corner, and ready to give the game hell and make money and have fun. Like, any niggas that's in the street, that's really in the street, and they could do a dance, be careful. Them niggas is vicious, you know what I mean? And I respect what they doing. They gave New York a real burst of energy, and you can feel it all over wherever you at. Like, I don't care if it's white people, black people, they caught them a lick, and,
Are you surprised at how diverse the hip-hop audience is now?
Nah. Hip-hop has always been diverse. The concerts were never filled up with black people. They were always filled up with white people. Black people just started coming to the concerts by the loads. Concerts always was majority white people, so I'm not surprised at the crossover or where it's going. It's always been like that.
Are you surprised by the immense success of Jay-Z and what he became? And you were early on, you guys were with Rockefeller back in the day, came up directly underneath him, but with him.
His shit was
he's huge.
Right.
Yeah.
That nigga's huge.
It fascinates me.
It fascinates you?
It does fascinate me. It does fascinate to watch it from album to album and to... Yeah, it does fascinate me, his success.
After you got a certain amount of success and you have a certain amount of money, that means you have a certain amount of marketing dollar. That means you're always going to make money, and every event is going to be orca. So it's going to look big. You dig? So once he hit that one slide years back, everything he did was going to shine. Like, you be... Besides rap, what people don't know, if you got $100 million, you got $50 million, you're in a whole nother type of bracket of business. You are a business. Like, fuck what you talking about. There are a lot of other things that people don't get to see about how you're making your money and how your money is getting flipped and handled. And you understand what I'm saying? Like, people just see the rap, and niggas not getting rich off that rap. At this point, rap is shit. Rap ain't really
get you in it.
You dig? That's just like playing basketball to the nigga, like playing 21 in the back of his house. Like, man, I gotta go do this concert. I'll be back. Y'all got the jet running? I'll be back in a couple hours, man. Have my food ready. Like, that shit is not this.
But doesn't it kind of feel that way, though? It kind of feels like, you know, a little bit like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to the show. I'm going to do it. I'll be back. Rather than like, I'm going to go do the show. Let me get my set together. Maybe I should.
Fuck that. Get my set together.
So who cares?
I'll meet y'all at the show. Y'all got the set together? I'll be there. Fuck you mean? I 20 years in to get my set together. Kiss my ass. The set better be together when I pop up. Straight up and down. That's where he at, nigga. When Bruce Springsteen pull up, he ain't talk about get his set together.
I mean, your run of show, your list of songs,
but
what you're doing.
There. It's there. Like, you know, of course you change your show as a rap artist. Like, he is a rap artist and he's one of the greatest, and he pulls off some of the greatest shows that we've seen and things. So he's obviously in tune with his craft. So you can't never say that about a person like that. Like, you know, like shit, that nigga gets it. He got it. As far as rap, he makes rap look good. I mean, as far as being able to come from rap and damn near be a billionaire, I mean, shit. You know what I mean? Him, Puffy, Baby. I think Baby don't get as much credit as he deserves.
I don't think so either.
Baby is my motherfucking nigga, and not to say like, but that's my nigga as far as a hustling nigga and go hard and really don't care about accolades. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the money is most important to him, and making sure the music is right, the art, like, you dig, that's the most important. He don't be on it like everybody else be on it and shit like that. He don't need the movie around him because his shit is for real, for sure. Like,
and he hasn't taken a fall. He's gone up and up and up. He's affiliated with everybody.
This nigga's been popping since I've been in the game. They've been popping since then, and they've been selling platinum albums ever since.
Yeah.
No one's done that on numerous artists.
Without any sort of fall, breakup, so-and-so, mess up.
I mean, he had his little mess ups, but there was always an artist selling platinum records. His business... It
wasn't the breakup of the label.
His business was dope, and it still is dope. He has 3 of the biggest artists in the world. Fuck rap, fuck hockey, fuck soccer.
The biggest artists in the last 5 years.
Them niggas pop up anywhere, there's going to be a riot, and shit is getting shut down. If Nicki Minaj or Drake or Wayne, they pop up anywhere, it's going to be a problem wherever they at. You dig? Like,
I think it's amazing that he's got the biggest artists in the last 5 years.
There's no other. I don't recall that happening for anyone. Eminem did that with 50, but that was one artist. You know what I mean? Like, we could say Dame did that. Dame and Jay did that with Cam. Cam went platinum. No, but
Dre did that with M. At the same time, yeah.
I would say Dre probably produced the most platinum artists off of one label in one movement coming up. Like, you dig? Like, that's where Baby's at.
Yeah.
Like, Baby got a Dre situation.
And they're playing such 2 different roles too.
You did?
Yeah.
But Baby has, I don't like his shit. Niggas don't give him his props he deserve.
Right.
I feel in the game and shit like that. Like that, he gets it, and he do a whole bunch of other shit too. But when it comes to the music, he been kicking niggas ass.
But he doesn't even try to demand it. He doesn't put himself out there trying to get it. He lets himself stand there.
Them checks that be like for 181 million, or he just renegotiated for 221. Like, when you get a check like that with your name on, who gives a fuck about fame?
Yeah.
You dig? Like, I'm famous. You know I got it. You know I got it when I pop up. That's what it's all about. You get to a certain point, shit, the fame don't mean nothing. But some people's fortune are built on their fame, so you're always seeing that light. Like, Jay-Z has a lot of corporate money and corporations behind him, so they put him in that so they can make their money and shit like that.
Do you think that controls you, though? Like, now you've got all these people behind you, you have this money behind you, you've got to move a certain way, you can't speak a certain way, you got to bite your tongue before you say things.
Why? It's about, that's what you chose. So if I choose to get a check for $100 million and there's a couple things I can't say, I'm obviously good with that. I'm good with that. You dig? Mm-hmm. So whatever the circumstance, there's always freedom of speech. I'm always going to speak my motherfucking mind. But if I'm getting a check for $100 million, I'm going to play along a little bit. Somebody, you cut me a check for $100 million, cool. All right, boss, I'll holla at you. He must got $100 billion. You dig? Like, you think about it. Shit, man, I ain't mad. It's always somebody richer than another person, and somebody always work for somebody in some type of form or capacity, however you say it. You dig? Or you, if not, you just on your own and just living off your money and just balling like the nigga that own Virgin Airlines.
Yeah,
that's a baller. He's sending shit to space. Pew! You dig? Like, fuck that. Like, that's the type. He got islands and shit like that. Like, that's that shit. Word. Let me please. got me fucked up here. I'd have been going and disappeared on niggas. You dig? What?
Like that picture, they like, really, Drew?
Yeah, I'd have been out here deuces. I've been going on these niggas. Like, I got me fucked up. And I'm not crossing over none of that type of shit. Like, but reality's reality, man. This game is to be made, built on getting money. Like, shit, niggas came up out the projects. So to be able to be in these brackets and making this money, shit. You dig? Would you rather be in jail and have to listen to everything niggas got? You ain't got no choice in there, motherfucker. Or have 100 million and gotta live there and got a few restrictions. Like, shit, I don't think it's that much restrictions when you got 100 M's. Like, shit. What are they gonna really tell you not to do? Like, don't mention the other company's name?
No,
like,
sometimes
shit.
I think that, you know, sometimes it'd be nice to hear rappers speak on things and they don't. Certain things that happen, you know, whether it be more people during the Ferguson thing or whatever, and you don't. And I wonder, you know, well, you got advertisers around, you know, how much do they control what you would and wouldn't say because you don't want to damage
I don't
something.
think rappers not talking up on that has to do with that type of thing. Like, you know, there's a lot of rappers that I didn't really mention nothing on it. You understand what I'm saying? And not to be cold-hearted or nothing like that, but shit, that shit, like, not to say it like that, but in my hood, I've seen personal friends get killed by police. My personal friends. Fact. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, watching everything that went on is like, that shit's not really helping. We getting attention. But when all that shit dies down and shit like that, we gonna get to what really's gonna go on. And 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna be what people like. You dig? A lot of these shits and a lot of these rappers, they go to places, that shit is all for a publicity ploy.
Right.
These niggas want cool points. These niggas want all, like, that shit really don't, I'm not really into it like that. You know what I mean? Like, I got certain things that touch my heart the way I feel I need to speak out and shit like that, and I do all the time. And people know that. I don't hold my tongue for no one. But certain things is like, I feel like, oh, if I put my voice on it or this makes me feel like I'm like I'm doing it for the wrong reasons, and I know people doing it for the wrong reasons. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
well, there's so many outlets, ways to get media these days that you can try to work it, or an artist can try to work it in so many different directions. But sometimes it works for them. Sometimes it works against them. Sometimes it works in their favor.
Yeah, and I'm not mad. I'm just not that artist. Like, I definitely not gonna do. I do what I want to do. I do what I feel like doing. Like, shit, I like shit. Fuck, man. A lot of shit didn't happen in my life, and I'm a little burnt out, I guess. I seen too much cold shit happen for me to be going, like, man, that shit, man, listen, I got brothers in jail right now, unjustly. I got niggas that got killed unjustly. I got, like, shit is crazy, man. Police do what the fuck they want to do all the time. It's not going to stop. Period, my brother. Like, how many people that got killed since that shit didn't happen? Or how many shit you watch on the internet that police was doing since that shit didn't happen, man? You're not... That's one gang you niggas need to just leave it alone, man. You get pulled over, be nice. As nice as possible, nigga. You want them niggas to go head on, man. You dig? Like, you're not gonna win, my nigga. Like, and I've been the most rudest to cops, and I've been the most rebellious to the point where my hands get swollen from handcuffs being so tight on my arm. Like, and guess what? I gotta go home like that at the end of the day. Them niggas get to go home laughing at me and shit like that, and I get so... Shit, I don't even be playing with cops. I ain't got nothing for them. I got lawyers. So whatever you gonna do, if they do violate me, cool. If I make it through it, my lawyer gonna handle the rest. I'm not into that. You dig? Like, I don't really play with cops. I done been into too much shit with cops. Them niggas is vicious. They do what they want, and 9 times out of 10 they win. Even when all the evidence points to that they're not right, they win. So what the fuck that tell you?
Did you ever have problems with the hip hop police in New York?
Nah. I mean, in the beginning, from a lot of the things I was doing, you know, they put a special unit for a few of us artists that were in the city, and at that time I was very reckless. I was doing a lot of shit. I mean, you've been with me in the very beginning to a show, and you
in the bottom of Speed.
Yeah, you understand the shit that was going on, and you know, they put a unit out, and it was a time where I was going out, and I was like, felt like I was getting locked up every time I went out. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it felt like it was on purpose. You know.
Well, it felt like anything had happened.
As my success changed, I guess the rules changed, and then, you know, they really did pretty much look after the artists. I don't know if they're called the rap police or who they are, but you know, they supposed to be there to look after the artists and make sure the artists are alright. They really did. They really did to catch the artists slipping. But you know, we play the game fair. You know, I respect them. They respect me. I just want to party anyway. So 9 times out of 10, I use them to help me get in the club.
Last time I saw him in the club, he wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah, I was mad.
And you refused to take a picture. I don't take pictures with her.
Yeah.
So we don't have that picture.
See? But you got it in your brain. You remember it like a
It's
picture.
frozen in my brain. I remember what I was wearing. It's true.
See?
What's your role in hip-hop now?
My role in hip-hop?
I mean, the reality television changed your total image to me.
Yeah, you think?
You being public with a girl is totally different to me.
Yeah.
I can't get over it. It's how many years later.
Yeah.
It's still like weird Jim Jones to me.
I can understand it. I can understand it. Man, you look at the years I've been in this game and shit like that. Like, shit. Fuck. It's weird. So
You can go.
I don't know if I have a spot in hip hop. What does that mean? Like what?
What's your lane? What do you represent?
What you mean what I represent? I still represent what I always represent. Shit don't change. Like I don't know if TV has changed me in any bit. Like shit, my music is my music, or who I am is who I am. You know, I represent what I represent. I
think seeing you in reality television puts a different side of you that other people never got to see.
I mean, shit. I mean, I always been a loving person. You dig? I just didn't have them other parts to love. Like, you know, my son is 11 now. Like, you know, when I started this game, I didn't have a son. I was 27 when I had my son. I was already in the game damn near 10 years when I had my son. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was different. I had my son pretty old, so, you know. But, you know, reality TV is cool. It's funny. I mean, I did it for business purposes. I mean, if I could get on TV, that's one hell of a commercial for shit I want to sell.
But did you have Keeping Up with the Joneses?
No.
You didn't have I could be getting it wrong. Did you have a family reality show and then it turned into Love and Hip Hop before, or did it just become Love and Hip Hop was the first
No, it was
thing?
always Love and Hip Hop.
It was always Love and Hip Hop, then I'm wrong about it. Okay.
Huh? Yeah, but it wasn't no initial show with Mona. It wasn't before Mona got involved. Before Mona got involved, it was just the people from VH1 coming to the house once a summer. They were still just trying to do a television show, and then that was like the fourth time. I was like, when Chrissy had tried to do something, that shit went through. Then we went to see Jim Ackerman, and that's how the whole Love and Hip Hop thing came about. And you know, that was when Yandy went away with Missy.
What happened with you and Yandy? Are you still cool? Are you not?
I don't.
At all? No? Is that a stupid question because I haven't seen the show in a while?
Very, very silly question.
Very silly question? You haven't talked to you in a long time.
See?
I stayed away a little bit.
History. Life changes. Shit happens. You move on. It's a fuck. But yeah, reality TV, I mean shit, why you ask me my position? It seems like every rapper in the world wants a reality television show right now.
Because I think it's interesting. When I look back at it, it's Jim Jones who kicked off the fucking Love and Hip Hop theories of rappers being in love on TV. It's just kind of funny to me. That's just funny to me, you know? It could be just me, I'm not really sure. But if you would have asked me a few years ago to predict that to be the thing that happened, I wouldn't have gone there. I don't know where I would have gone, but I wouldn't have gone that you were Mr. In Love on TV, and then there were going to be all these other couples, and then there were going to be weird Scrappy on TV, and it was going to be turned into this whole thing. And I think it did start very early on with you, but I would never have predicted that would have happened. So it is interesting to me.
That wasn't what we did it for. And once again, it kind of put me in the lane of I don't compromise myself. We did it because we had the opportunity to do some real life business and be on the production level on which Mona is right now.
Right.
But for us to get there, they wanted us to do another season, which we refused to do because we see what type of TV they was doing. And it didn't work in our favor. And I don't care what type of power or money you put in front of my face. I'm not doing nothing that not going to make me feel good. You did? Fuck compromising. If it don't make me feel good, I ain't doing it. You know what I mean? You tell them we going home and go to sleep. Or y'all can give us our own show. That's what they did. They gave us our own show. And then, you know, do business politics and TV politics. You know, different shit happened. You know, people... But the one thing that we did have was the best ratings that VH1 has ever seen. So, and we started that. From Love and Hip Hop, those were our ratings, to Chrissy and Mr. Jones, which the second season kind of really did good. So, yeah.
Why are you Mr. Jones and she's just Chrissy?
Because we're not married yet.
But why isn't it Chrissy and Jim?
Because Mr. Jones has a ring to it.
Okay.
We selling shit here. He's selling shit. Whatever has the ring to it, whatever goes off.
I don't want the girl to get slighted. Just paying attention.
Nah. that's my baby boo, but you know, it has a ring to it. So television is good, man. Like I said, you use it for what you use it for. Got an opportunity to really get in a great position on the new show that we're about to do. So, you know, I look forward to it. And I look forward to doing other television shows that don't necessarily reflect on reality TV.
What's it like with you and Cam now? You have music together recently, right?
Yeah, we got music, got a couple videos. Yeah. Shout out to Cam, shout out to Joel, shout out to Zeke.
Was your makeup really a makeup? Was it ever go back to where it was, or was it always weird?
I don't know, man. Me and Cam always been weird with each other, even at our closest moments.
He's a weirdo.
I mean, I don't know.
You're a weirdo. You're both weirdos.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying.
It's two weirdos, yeah.
I couldn't call him a weirdo without calling myself a weirdo, but you know, the love that we have for each other, I know is unconditional. Like, you know, regardless of what goes on, and it's funny like that. So, you know, I just take it for what it is. I love that nigga to death. You know, we moved in a little bit of different directions. We got something in life that will always be a bond that we can't take away, and that's the Diplomats where we started. So, you know, it's always there, even likewise with Joel's and Zeke and shit like that. Like,
where's Joel's?
Joel's is home.
I just feel like, where's Joel's?
I know everybody asks me that.
Yeah, I mean, right? So we all feel like, where's Joel's? I feel like he's still young.
He's very young. He's still very talented, and you know, still my favorite rapper. So, you know, I always wish to just hear him do music. Like, I'm waiting for the moment that he come back with it. I think that should be monumental. You know what I mean? It give me some energy. Like, I know for a fact, like, none of the artists that's out right now can fuck with him. I promise you that. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why this seems like such a wide lane for him, you know?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, these niggas out here ain't got it like he got it. I know that. So, you know, but you all go through things in life, man. Music is a funny thing, especially from when you're a real artist. And Joel's and Cam were both real artists. They're both Aquariuses, so they do their shit different. You know what I mean? I still haven't fully figured out as Aquarius, but you know what I mean? Those my niggas. I say Cam doing a lot of music lately. And he got his first of the month thing popping off, and he's really been into the movie shit. So, you know, I respect that. That shit's dope. He showed me a lot, especially with the movie side of things. Where I took a couple pages out of his book with that. So I've been starting to do my own little type of movies and shit like that. So, you know,
anything you want to say about that?
About what?
About your movie stuff? What page you took? What you got going on with that?
Yeah, I'm about to go to Miami and shoot like a little short movie. Shoot it around the mixtape. The movies are musically oriented, like a Streets is Watching. A little bit more dialogue and shot way more cinematic. Way more cinematic. It's dope though. I got a few artists in Miami. Like I said, I've been doing a bunch of dope music with them. So I'm gonna go down there and shoot a whole movie around Miami. I'm putting a mixtape out. That's because I've been back and forth to Miami since for a long time, and I got my own history down there, like a real ill Miami history. So, you know, want to paint that picture a little bit, then back and forth with Baby about a couple things. So, you know, I've been really building a little foundation down in Miami. Try to make a double move. You know.
Anything else you want to add?
Nah, y'all go buy my soda, Vamp Soda. Shout out to Top Pop. Go get that soda, man.